Don't shoot the messenger, but we got a Juan Soto update for you right now. Welcome back to MetCast, friends. As always, I am Ray, and if you like our content, please like and subscribe. Helps grow the channel so much, but I know why you guys are all here. The static is in the air. You're seeing reports starting to be leaked left and right, and I want to remind you guys, take this information with a grain of salt. It is not me reporting it. It is just what we're seeing out on X. We have a lot of people in our ear feeding us information constantly. By the way, if you're not following us on X, at MetCast Pod on X, we do a ton of work over there for you guys. Reporting, articles, you name it. We take care of it. But we have this from Ken Rosenthal right out the bat. Mets Mirais highlighted it from Ken Rosenthal. The Mets are widely regarded as the favorite for Soto, with many in the industry believing team owner Steve Cohen will top any rival's bid. And let me explain this to you. We also just heard that the remaining teams all have offers over $600 million for Soto. What does that mean? That means the Mets, I'm assuming, are on top, the Blue Jays, the Red Sox, and Yankees. I don't think that the Dodgers are involved, and I have another update for you as well. Now, again, when I bring this up for you guys, I want you to take it with a grain of salt. I'm trying to verify all this stuff is legit, but we have this from David Polignar, who is a journalist that works out in LA. Inquiring Juan Soto minds want to know. And supposedly he was at the Blake Snell press conference. That's what he's leading us to believe. He's got almost 13,000 followers on Twitter. He tags KTLA News 5, which has almost 1 million Twitter followers. I reached out to several people in the industry. They say this guy is legit. I'm being told an announcement is imminent for the 26-year-old landing with the Mets. His agent, Scott Boras, was on hand for the Blake Snell announcement or press conference, whatever you want to call it. The chatter is real. Stay tuned. And that's where we're at right now. Martino just reported on Mets Hot Stove that he could see it happening within the next 7 days. I'm hearing possibly even within the next couple of days, announcement could come down. It looks like Steve Cohen wants this big fish more than anything. I want it more than anything. I know you want it more than anything. Landing Juan Soto in right field not only increases our team and obviously the overall greatness of this team, but another thing it does, it brings our franchise to a different prestige. It shows that Uncle Steve is here. He's willing to spend. We got to spend in order to compete with the Dodgers. This is a win now roster. You bring Pete Alonso back, you add Juan Soto. And then another tidbit that we have from the Mets Hot Stove. From what was reported recently on Hot Stove, the Mets are looking in the trade market potentially for a high-end starting pitcher, whether that's Garrett Crochet or Tyone, guys of that nature. I would love for it to be Garrett Crochet. Yes, I'd be willing to sell the farm for Garrett Crochet. Check out these numbers. These numbers do not lie whatsoever. He is a big K per 9 guy. He's another guy in his mid-20s. You add him, you add Soto, and who knows, maybe Francisco Alvarez uses his relationships that he has, as we saw earlier, him posting photos on his Instagram story of him and Vladimir Guerrero Jr., the very guy that we've been talking about since the start of the offseason. Him, Guerrero Jr., Francisco Lindor, Juan Soto, right there is a top 5 lineup in baseball, hands down. The Phillies don't outbeat us, and neither do the Braves. And what's so great about that lineup, if we're able to make it happen, Lindor just turned 30. Alvarez is in his early 20s. Soto's in his mid-20s. And Vlad Guerrero Jr. is in his mid-20s. And believe me, I know a lot of you guys want Pete Alonso back, and so do I. That's probably 1 and 1A for me. But one or the other has to happen. You can't lose Alonso to bring in Soto. For me, that counterbalances everything. You need that big bat and Alonso batting either behind Soto or behind Mark Vientos. In a perfect world, in my mind, And what's most likely to happen if we're able to acquire Soto, the lineup would be Lindor, Soto, Vientos, Alonso, and so on and so forth. Probably Nimmo, and then it follows after that. Also, what I'm hearing, teams are getting ready to explore a potential trade for Jeff McNeil. There's a little whispers throughout the industry. He's making $15 million this year, $15 million the year after that. I think he could be a high value for somebody else. The Mets may look to go young with Acuna tearing it up in winter ball, appearing to be major league ready. A lot of scouts did not like his slash line coming into the season. His bat doesn't project that well, but the Mets kind of feel differently. They think he's got a major league bat. Maybe he could learn to bunt here or there, hit gap to gap, steal a ton of bags as he's done down in the minor leagues, and that's what they're looking to do. That is the latest updates that we're hearing in regard to Juan Soto, the trade market. Another player to look out for is Jock Peterson. He would fit in perfect with this team in the outfield. We were talking earlier today, a couple Met friends and mine, about the impact bat that he could have, if we lose out on a Juan Soto. But that is for another day. I don't even want to discuss losing out on Juan Soto. Uncle Steve is going to get this done. Mark my words. And all these Red Sox reporters that have out there, there's already a verbal agreement. This guy that's got no followers on Twitter all of a sudden blows up into this big page because he reported that his quote-unquote source knows that Juan Soto is signing with the Boston Red Sox. BS. Everybody that I've spoken to, including former players of the New York Mets, say those reports are completely bogus. They have no water attached to them. So that's where we're at right now with the New York Mets. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Would you give everything you have for Juan Soto? What if you have to give him the 15-year contract at a crazy amount? Would you be willing to overpay a team by $4 or $5 million a year? Say you got to bring him to $48 million a year. Would you be willing to bring him in? Remind you, Verlander and Scherzer both were at $43.5 million, so it's not too much above them. Pretty much, if Soto's in his prime till 35, you have 9 years of an all-time great hitter potentially in the middle of your lineup. And not only that, he will help you attract other free agents. Him, Lindor, you want to get Vladimir Guerrero Jr. here next offseason or via trade this year and to extend in lieu of Pete Alonso, get a guy like Juan Soto here, and these guys are going to all want to play together. Greatness breeds greatness. We've always said that. Players want to play with one another. And that's what's so great about having a guy like Francisco Alvarez on this team, because he is a road runner. He is a rage king. He hits big home runs. He is clutch as hell, and he's so young. I expect a huge year out of him in 2025. I could see easily 25 to 30 home runs, hitting around 230 to 240, and being lights out behind the plate like he was last year. Bring back Manaea, trade for Crochet, bring in Soto, trade for Vladdy. It's a lot, and it would completely hurt our farm system big time. It would probably annihilate our top 8 or 9. But these guys are in their mid-20s. If you sign them long-term, you don't need a first baseman for another decade. You don't need a right fielder for 15 years. Lindor's got shortstop for the next 7 or 8 years. You have Vientos at third base or first base, wherever he lines up for a really long time. Nimmo's locked in for another half a decade. It's not like we have these old aging guys that are moving out and you have to replace them with prospects. It's not like that at all. And that's what I'm trying to instill in Mets fans. Francisco Alvarez is 23 years old. He's not going anywhere. So holding on to a Kevin Parada who can only play catcher makes zero sense for this team. He was drafted years ago with Jet Williams in the first round. Get your value back while you still can. You can only have one second baseman. Jet Williams, Acuna, McNeil, even if they bring back Iglesias, all 4 of them can play second base. There's only one position to play. Prospects are suspects until they aren't. Trade them away. Make this team great. These guys are in their mid-20s. You're not trading for guys that are in their 30s. Make it happen. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. And as anything happens, Met fans, I'll be sure to bring it to you. Please like and subscribe. And until the next breaking news happens, so long.